Planar 2 puts gestural control of a eurorack system at your fingertips and rewards creative uses and experimentation. With built-in CV recording and 3 distinct CV input modes, there really are endless possibilities. We'll start by taking a look at the module's inputs, outputs, and basic functionality. The joystick position is defined by X and Y axes and 4 quadrants labeled A, B, C, and D. The X and Y outputs will generate a voltage based on the position of the joystick along these 2 axes, and they can be toggled individually between unipolar and bipolar using these switches. The 4 quadrants have 4 corresponding inputs and outputs, along with a mix output. The inputs are normaled from left to right, meaning that one signal can feed all 4 channels, along with many other possible configurations. For example, if you send one signal to A and another to C, you can crossfade between the 2 signals through the mix output by moving the joystick up and down. This is because A is also fed to B and likewise C to D. If you remove the signal from A, you will have no signal in the top half but can bring in C in the bottom half. Each quadrant's output level is determined by the proximity of the joystick to that quadrant, meaning each input and output pair functions as a VCA. This also means that you can pan one or more of the inputs to the 4 outputs, which is great for sending a signal to various effects processors. In this case, I have a phaser through A, the Rainmaker on B, distortion from Orgasmatron on C, and digiverb on D. And remember, you can use both audio and CV with these inputs and outputs. It's also important to note that connecting a quadrant's output removes it from the mix out. If nothing is connected to any of the inputs, the outputs are each normaled with 10 volts, which can be used to control various elements of your system. This means that you have a total of 6 voltage sources that can be employed simultaneously to make the most of your gestures and bring your patches to life. The response of the outputs to the movement of the joystick is further determined by the state of these 2 buttons, with ABCD on the left and XY on the right. They each have 3 states. If a button is lit up, its corresponding outputs will respond to the position of the joystick, or to the CV recording once it starts to play back. This will also be combined with any signal present at the CV inputs, depending on the selected CV input mode. If the button is not lit, the outputs only respond to the CV inputs and ignore the joystick position and CV recording. If the button is flashing, the outputs will only respond to the position of the joystick and ignore the CV recording and any CV inputs. Short button presses toggle between lit and unlit states, while long presses toggle the flashing states on and off. Planar 2 has one gait output with a switch to determine its behavior. With the switch down, it works in gait mode and responds to presses of the gait button here on the left. In sense mode, Planar generates a gait signal whenever it detects movement of the joystick. With either mode selected, gait patterns can be recorded, and the blue LED indicates when the output is active. We'll tackle recording with Planar in the next video. Thanks for watching.